Right, well, we've gone on way longer than I was planning on going, which is not a big surprise, but yeah, we're like well over the hour and a half mark now. Don't know whether I'm going to be playing anything. Let's just pick up some questions from the patrons. Do I have any favorite soundtracks from any Bethesda game that you listen to outside of the game? Nope, I do not listen to game soundtracks outside of the game, I'm afraid. It's not that I don't like them. They're great. I think a lot of the Bethesda games have great soundtracks, but I'm not a, you know, listen to the soundtrack. Oh, I was about to lie to you. I do have a couple of tracks I listen to outside of the game, but they're not Bethesda game, so it's not really a lie. I actually have on Spotify the theme music for Payday 2 because I love that. It's great training music. Curiosity, what is your sound chain nowadays? USB mic, large capsule, VB audio, or physical mixer? Everything. I have a physical mixer. It is a very small one called the Mini Mix 2. And that takes the output from 3 different PCs and sends it to my wireless headphones. But my PC, my gaming PC, has 2 outputs. One to the video feed, send sound via the video so that the capture card picks it up, and one via the sound card to the mixer. The capture rig has something similar. It picks up multiple feeds, including microphones on the game rig over the network, but it also feeds back, streams back to the game rig if I need. So quite complicated. And I use Voicemeeter. Nikki D's asked, if Starfield does come out this year, would you play it vanilla? No. As a let's play immediately? Yes. Or would you play it alone first? Maybe. And then let's play on a second playthrough with mods. I've spoken to Quadico about this. Should I do a play for myself of Starfield and then do like I do with Skyrim, you know, role played ones, or should I do a blind? I know people don't like that. A first playthrough, like I did with Fallout 4. And I don't know. I think the thing is now, people like to see my first impression of a game. So I think people would like to see me play Starfield. Will it be unmodded? I will probably not mod gameplay or anything like that, anything major, unless it annoys me. I would only modify things once I am utterly convinced I know exactly how it's going to affect gameplay. So, for example, games like Skyrim, when they came out and they didn't have Dark Knights, I was quite happy to use a Darker Knights mod, more or less instantly, because I knew exactly what I was going to do to the game. Same with UI mods. You know, I started to make immersive HUD for Skyrim the instant the game came out, because I knew I was not going to like the heads-up display. So, you know, there are some things I just know. So I don't know. I honestly do not know. Blue Dragon. This might be a slightly longer question, but I'm wondering how is the process? Don't miss these 2 up here, by the way. Okay, so there's one really high up. Okay. This might be a slightly longer question, but I'm wondering how is the process when you get yourself to record a video from sitting down and finally hitting record and going in character? Does it take a while for you to get in character? Also, when you go in, do you have plans of how the episode will continue, or do I just wing it? Okay, Blue Dragon, that is a good question, and it's a sort of question I'm going to go into a lot more depth once I finish the Let's Play with Leonard. I'm going to do several videos about my entire process, but the short version for you is, yeah, when I first sit down, I go through an awful lot of physical checks. I probably spend close to half an hour audio check, record check, make sure the feeds are all being picked up and recorded, because there's absolutely nothing worse than recording for an hour and then going to the playback and realizing the microphone wasn't working or something like that. I've had that happen a few times, and in fact, it even happened once recently where I lost a section of audio. It can be very annoying to have to redo. Sometimes it could be impossible as well. It could be really a pain in the backside, but it's really annoying to have to load an old save and go through the same thing. So it's better to spend the time at the start, making sure everything works, making sure all systems are go. I usually also watch the very end of the last episode, get myself back in the frame of mind of what I was doing. Does it take a while to get into character? Not so much. Usually I listen to the last few minutes and it's pretty easy to get back in the character of, say, Leonard. Do I have plans of how the episode will go? It depends on the game. But yes, to some degree. Even on Red Dead Redemption 2, I've got some vague ideas of some of the missions that I have got as a potential, or some of the things I've got to do. And so I'll generally start up and think, you know what? I think what I'll do today is I'll do that and that and that. Does that always happen? No. In fact, I would say probably 70 to 80% of the time, it pretty much gets away from me and I end up winging it. Well, I don't wing it, but I just go with the flow. And that even happens in Skyrim quite a lot. More than you'd imagine, considering how well I know that game. I will have a plan and then it will go awry. Not just because of things that are happening, but because something that I'd forgotten happens and Leonard does not react the way I thought he would. And that's going to sound insane. But once the Leonard Let's Play has got past Chapter 9, I will be doing an in-depth discussion and I will be talking about one such moment where the entire arc of the Let's Play suddenly shot off in a random direction because I'd forgotten something about the order of how something happened. And when it happened, Leonard's reaction was not what I was planning. So there you go. How about that for a weird one? God of cheese. What's my favorite cheese? Probably Farmhouse cheddar. How do you find DOS 2 now that you got out of the tutorial island? We're loving it. Me and Quadico are having a right old time. Loving it. Snake Doctor. How difficult do you find it to add character roleplay in a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 that has a voice protagonist? I don't really try, I guess. I mean, yeah, Arthur Morgan has his own character to some degree, but you do have some control over it. But I don't really... you can't add much to Arthur. It's not really possible. You know, you could play him as maybe slightly more honourable or slightly less honourable, but he's still him, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, when playing games like that, very often... it'll be a mixture of me being there in his head and sometimes me being there as a passenger. I don't really... When I play games like that, I don't go in with a plan. It's not quite like with Leonard or in Cyberpunk with V. I don't have quite as much control over the personality. Even in The Witcher 3, you had more control over the personality than you do in a game like Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is not a role-playing game. It's not one where you create a character and you've got an awful lot of control. He's his own person. You're playing this guy and there's not really... You can get into his character and you can tweak him, you can nudge him, but you're playing someone who's basically a bad man. Not the worst. Maybe sometimes even an honest bad man, but, And sometimes you're along for the ride. But that happens in a lot of games. That I play on my channel as well. So... All right, let's read the Twitch chat. You can kind of pull him a little to the good side of the bad. Yeah, I get that feeling. I get that feeling. I get the feeling you can tweak him and nudge him. But the other thing with Red Dead Redemption 2 is a lot of the missions don't give you... Well, most of the missions don't give you options. They're very, very linear. There's a lot of them. They're very well written. A lot of great narrative. But you don't get options very often. And you will be pulled into, and you don't even get, here's one of the weird things with this is you don't even get the option of whether or not to do most missions. Sort of. It's like, one of the mechanics you've got is if you talk to someone, if someone's got a mission, you talk to them, they're like, in 99% of the cases, you're going on that mission. They could be like, hey, I was thinking of diving off a cliff, and face planting into the river below. Does that sound fun? Your character be like, yep, I know. It doesn't matter what you think. So, you... There are lots of different quests and missions in this game, but let's just say Arthur has his own mind when it comes to which of them you will be doing and how you will do them. You were walking and carrying in the snow. You had control over where Arthur went. Does that happen a lot? Seems weird. Oh, yeah. No. Like, for example, a lot of the bits where you're following someone, you've got control over where Arthur goes, but if you don't go where he's supposed to go, everyone will start complaining, which is perfectly reasonable. Mods can add even more quests. Oh, maybe. That'd be nice. But look, there are so many quests in this game that I don't think I need to add more. Don't bother to answer. The sunny days are back at your place. Yeah, the sun is here. My sleep pattern's completely messed up again. So, yeah. You wonder if there's a mod for quest acceptance like in Skyrim. The thing is, I think if you don't do the main quests, a lot of it's not going to make sense. There's a huge amount of scripted dialogue in Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a very narrative-driven game, really is. It's a classic old adventure game, just in a very beautiful open-world setting. But it's got a lot of scripted dialogue, and I get the feeling that if you had mods that let you say, "Oh, I'm not going to do that," it wouldn't make a lot of sense, and they'd really have to change the quests quite a lot. So, Rockstar follow the mantra that if it's a quest, you're going to do it whether you like it or not. Yeah, pretty much. It's that's how it is. Yeah, Gopher taking his time as always. Totally not complaining. Yeah, no, we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up, guys. We are gonna wrap it up. I've got to decide whether I'm gonna come back and do some more. I was gonna play a little while, wasn't I? Murder on Eridanos. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. And if I'm gonna do that, I should definitely take a break. So anyway, there you go, guys. That's it. The timetable for the near future is going to be Cyberpunk and Red Dead Redemption 2. Mass Effect is still an option. I'm not promising it. We'll have to see. And there are still several other things, but we're looking at summer before we even get to rethink what is going to happen. I mean, it's going to be summertime before anything else changes, because I've still got quite a lot of Cyberpunk to post as well. Chapter 9 is coming. It's just going to be on a break. So, again, now that someone suggested putting chapter breaks in Red Dead Redemption 2, which might actually be a possibility, I might be able to mix those two quite well. So that, keep your eyes open for that. Red Dead Redemption 2, the game, absolutely loving it. Definitely going to be a long playthrough. Thoroughly enjoying it, in spite of the fact that you will see at certain points certain niggles. For example, if you hear the audio glitching happening and you think, God, that sounds awful, or it's really bothering you, because some people are bothered by sounds like that, know that I do get it under control later on. So it's not a problem for most of the playthrough. Okay? Keep that in mind. And have I already finished Red Dead Redemption 2? No, I have not. I don't think I'm even close to it. I think I'm in pretty early stages. But I'm very far ahead. So I'm going to be engaging in the comments. Fairly comfortable that I can avoid spoilers unless people are just being total dicks. Unless there's someone being a total dick and trying to ruin things. I'll be in the comments. Because I've played far enough ahead. So, any plans for new merch? Yeah, I've still got the Christmas merch going, haven't I? I am so bad. I'll think about it. I guess we've got an automatic candidate here, as it is anyway. I mean, really. It's still broken! I am so gutted. I'm just so gutted. Why is it broken, guys? Tell it to stop breaking. The whole thing's just broke. I am so sulking now. I am just so sulking. I know. What days will Red Dead Redemption be uploaded? Oh, probably like Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, something like that. I'm gonna do. Oh, yeah, I didn't mention that on the timetable, did I? I'm switching to 3 Cyberpunk a week, 3 Red Dead Redemption a week. So it's going to be equal amounts, basically 3 and 3. I was thinking of doing 3 and 2, like I did, but I upped it to 6 episodes a week recently because I do have such a backlog now that I sort of feel like I almost have to. I am worried about swamping my channel, and I do appreciate some people are going to just find this too much to watch. But I suspect then what they'll probably do is pick one series to watch rather than the other. But if I don't have 6 a week, it puts everything back even further. So I honestly, I may have to rethink the way I do Let's Plays. I just don't know. Maybe do more streaming and less Let's Playing. Because there is a limit to how much long-form content you can upload on a channel before you just bog it down something wrong, something terrible. Yeah. Give it a wiggle. What do you think? We'll give it a wiggle. Wiggle. Yeah, we wiggled it. There you go. It's like it needs a wake-up call.